had to read it, so you have to listen to it. It's gross. Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Ice Prison, which is Laser Books number 38 by Kathleen Sky. It's from 1976. It is a classic sci-fi. So, as I said, it's a classic sci-fi, so I'm going to be giving it my classic sci-fi bingo treatment, which means you're going to get a mini review with no spoilers, a spoiler synopsis of the entire book, and my bingo. Secondly, this book is messed up. Content warning for grooming. Yeah, I'll get into it. So this book is both wholly interesting, but wanders into territory I really did not want to tread. It's funny because I read this book like at least 10 or 15 years ago when I first got it, and I remember there being something really weird about it, and it's even weirder than I remembered, hence the content warning. What is the book about? Whoa. Mithras had been set up as a penal colony. No one would have gone to such a frozen hell voluntarily. Even the 5 generations later, no inhabitant could escape from Mithras alive. And now, Howell discovered to his horror, the Confederation Colonial Service was using it as a dumping ground for its own troublemakers. He was marooned on Mithras, its new commandant, yet as much as a prisoner as any convict. And to add to his tribulations, the entire colony was being terrorized by a 14-year-old girl. Okay, there's no way around it. I have to talk about this before the rest of the review. While the rest of the book is actually quite interesting and fun, this book also deals with a relationship of sorts between an 80-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl. It's insane. To be clear, there's no sexualized violence or sexual content in the book, but I have no idea why she needed to be 14. The plot could have happened if she were a 60-year-old woman, really. So this grooming aspect, because let's be real, that's what it is, was incredibly distracting from the rest of the good stuff of the book. So, the rest of it, for my review, which is going to be very short, interesting space politics, a rebellion against the powers that be, a main character who has personality and, aside from that one thing, is very likable, a woman character depicted as capable, great side characters, and a new world. There's a lot of good stuff about this book, but the damn grooming is all my brain focuses on because it's so gross and distracting. Like, goddamn it. I feel weird complimenting this book. Anyway, I still love laser books, though. I think I should make it a goal of my life to read all of the laser books. I have to find them, though. There's like, 100 of them or something? There's a list in the back of all their upcoming ones. Shall I read you the synopsises? I'll try and find these books online. Some of them are quite wild. Renegades of Time. Oh, we know that one. Number 2, Herds by Stephen Golden. An innocent psychologist is framed for murder by a scheming politician. Number 3, Crash Landing on Iduna. A family seeking peace and freedom becomes involved in a hair-raising adventure. 4, Gates of the Universe. A bulldozer operator digs into the gateway to an amazing universe. I want that one so bad. 5, Walls Within Walls. A young mutant leads a mutant colony in a revolt against enslavers. 6, Serving in Time. A young man's peaceful life is disrupted by a strange journey into the past. Seek Light. The haunting story of a young man's search for his true identity in an alien world. 8, Caravan. When the world's economy collapses, a small band fights for a better world. Sounds like that's happening soon. 9, Invasion. A spine-tingling tale of one family's struggles against a band of marauding alien creatures. 10, Falling Towards Forever. A soldier battles his unknown manipulator from one time period to another. Number 11, Unto the Last Generation. A little girl brings hope to a team of scientists trying to heal mankind's sterility. 12, The King of Eolim. Whatever. A deeply sensitive story of a family whose R-word son is not tolerated by society. Okay. 13, Blake's Progress. An 18th century time traveler sweeps into the future, dragging his terrified wife along. I really want to read that one, but I'm pretty sure the terrified wife is going to be very annoying and, like, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe she'll be like the main character. Number 14, Birthright. In a world where android means slave, Andros discovers he may not be human, but one of them. Them is in bold. 15, The Star Web. A research team uncovers an ancient civilization that sweeps from the Antarctic to the stars. 16, Kane's Odyssey. Seeking freedom in the city, Kane is accused of a past life he never knew he lived. The Black Roads. Kill or be killed in a future America where life is lived totally on the roads. Number 18, Legacy. Tonocaine is a drug that drives men mad. Williams has to find who's inflicting it on the universe. Anyway, I probably didn't have to read all of those, but I thought it was funny. So, moving to spoiler territory about this book. So, I'm going to tell you exactly what happens in this whole book. We have Commander Howell, or Commandant, whatever he is, arriving on Mithras, this ice planet mining town. He realizes later that he is sent here because the CCS, Confederation Colonial Service, has no use for him, and the people on the planet are stuck there due to poverty and etc. Anyway, he's the new commander, and the previous 3 were all murdered, one of which by this girl, Kierden. Kierden's dad was a rebel fighting the CCS, and when he was also killed, she took over. No one can catch her, so after a bunch of pages showing the town and etc., which was kind of cool, we have Howell lay a trap for her. He ends up using children to lure her to a cave where he knocks her out with gas. And the children. Yeah. Ethical? I don't know. He brings her to a hospital and keeps her under guard, but heals her up. They develop a relationship. Okay, so despite her being a child, he finds her attractive. Here's a great paragraph. I had to read it, so you have to listen to it. It's gross. He was gallant, expert, and careful, and he always picked women as emotionally mature as himself when it came to romance. Yet here he was, infatuated as a boy, over a girl young enough to be his grandchild. And he liked it. Liked the excitement, the warmth, and the needing. Nasty. Anyway, so he does say at one point, yet on some planets he'd be arrested. Yes, as you should be. Now, to his credit for a little bit, he does talk sense to himself and acknowledges she is a child, and he actually rejects his own attraction to her. So I was like, oh, good, that's helpful. That makes me feel a lot better about where this is going. So he says, I do love you, but the time's out of joint, and so am I. So they have a whole discussion about this. Because the weird thing, I guess I should have said this first. The weird thing is that she's attracted to him too. She actually tries to hit on him very aggressively. That part had me really worried. I was like, oh God. And then this rejection happens. Thank the gods. She has some real daddy issues due to her murdered dad, which, okay. But you're thinking here, no, that's not grooming. You know, she has the weird daddy issues and he doesn't act on his desires. You know, this is fine. You know, he thought something weird, but he decided, he came to his senses. Wait. Anyway, there's this CCS recruiter who comes to take the smartest kids away. Howell beats the shit out of him, which was actually the best scene of the book. He just beats the crap out of him for no reason. I mean, for the reason of he's taking the children, but he just starts beating on him. It's hilarious. Shortly after, Kierden's second in command of the rebels is a kid named Chinook. Tries to kill them both. They escape to the caves and return with more fighters. When they get there, Chinook has teamed up with the recruiter and this big old fight breaks out. There's a standoff at one point and Kierden pushes Chinook down a mine shaft. The rebels win. At the end, Howell, being a good leader, ends up getting promoted due to increasing the production on Mithras because everyone here is happy because they know that he's not like because he makes their standard of life better. And Kierden prepares to take off to school to be a doctor. Yay. Miners get a better life. Yay. Happy ending. Unfortunately, Howell seems to have untalked the sense out of himself because while the book has another character very specifically state that the two don't share a room and aren't ever alone together, Howell is very physically affectionate to her, and the book ends with him asking her to take a bath with him in champagne. While that was probably just a joke, it really made me wonder. I'm like, when she comes back, when she's 18 and he's 88 or whatever, is he going to no longer see her as a child? Because that is grooming and that is gross. Yeah. So, yeah. I can't say I recommend this. Unless you're Woody Allen, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to do my classic sci-fi bingo of this book. Outdated science. So kind of science, I guess this is science. So they have info cubes. I always picture them as like Rubik's cubes. But they also keep printed records of everything, including writing in triplicate, which I used to love doing as a kid, filling out those forms or whatever. I even remember doing it in university. I bet kids these days probably don't even know what that is. Let me know in the comments if you've ever written on triplicate, and I will guess your age. But yeah, so I guess triplicate is outdated science. There's no spaceship blowing up, there's no social changes, there's no sexy female scientists, there's no cool aliens, there is no ancient tech or ruins, there's no generation ship. There's no space soldiers. Howell is a commander, but that doesn't really count. AI robots, I guess, they're mentioned in passing. There are cold model androids, but they weren't cold model enough to work in the ice mines, apparently. So they had to make cold suits for humans instead. I don't think that counts really because they're not in the book. They're just kind of mentioned as existing in the world building. New worlds, yes, Mithras is a new world, and it's an ice world. It's Hoth, essentially, where most humans need a suit, but a few generations down the line, the kids have developed skin that can withstand it more, so they kind of, like, evolved onto this planet. And then regular, like, rooms and stuff are too hot for them, so that's also why they can't really leave the planet, because they've adapted to it. There's no cyberpunk. Blatant sexism? No. Actually, Kierden is shown to be skilled and very strong and resourceful. There are women in STEM positions, like there's one engineer, and this one guy brags about his teenage daughter. It's actually kind of cool. What does he say about her? He says, "You ought to see my oldest, sir." Heslin pulled a clean uniform over his head, blah, blah, blah. "She's a crack shot and a whiz at psychology and crowd control tactics. I'm training her to fill my spot someday." He's like a cop. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't know if the grooming falls under sexism, but anyway, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. There's no reptile aliens. LGBT, so queer representation. Okay. Yes, but I have a caveat. Howell is bisexual. He says he slept with men and he checks out a dude at one point. That part was actually awesome too. The only problem I have with this is that it ties into the flagrantly untrue homophobic stereotype about queer men and younger people. This is why representation is not just there are gay people. It's the context in which they are portrayed. While Howell is a bisexual dude and the main character, the fact that he plays into such a negative, bad stereotype erases the representation, in my opinion. I am not arguing that the author did this consciously. I honestly don't. They probably did it. I edit a lot of books, and even today, in 2025, I get a lot of bi promiscuity kind of stereotype shows up. That's a big one. There's other things that show up that people don't even realize are stereotypes. It's just that they're so pervasive in society. And that's the one thing about this book. I'm just like, really? You have a bisexual main character, a man, and then you make him like do that? Come on. It's so frustrating. There's no black holes. There's no microfiche. The male MC, I mean, okay. So Howell starts off as sort of a corporate stooge, but then he does a whole speech about he wants to rise in the ranks so he can change the company to focus on space exploration again and not capitalism. That was actually awesome, and so was when he beat up that recruiter guy. But I'm not giving him a check mark. Or I mean, I'm giving him a check mark for being a dick because of the grooming. So, yeah, man. It's not post-apocalyptic. Wild weapons and inventions. Yep, they have typical laser guns. Some man gets shot at one point. I think the guy that has the daughter, he gets killed. A bunch of people get killed. The cold suits are like space suits, but they're meant for cold weather. You can wear them all the time. They have like the tubes and stuff that you can eat food out of and things like that. They're pretty cool. Racial equality? Yes. This book, there are many people of color, and they aren't treated as stereotypes at all. So that was really good to see, especially for 1976. There's no mind possession, galactic war, time travel, does not pass the Bechdel test, and there is no alien-human romance, female lead character, or a derelict ship, unfortunately. So no bingo for this one. Yeah, so this book, wild but not in a good way. Yeah, Kathleen, if you're still kicking around, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what your intentions were behind Howell. Please let me know if, I don't know, he gets some help. Or maybe, I don't know. Thanks.